Welcome to the 5-Year You podcast, a show dedicated to helping you become the best version of yourself one day at a time. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Kat, and we promise to keep it raw, real, and relatable.
Are you ready to grow?
High Five Tribe. Do you wish more people liked you, or do you sit there sometimes wondering, am I making a good impression? Do people like me? Do they hate me? What are they thinking? Today's episode is called How to Make People Like You, and it's all about likability. How are you doing today, Kat?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am hopefully feeling more likable as the moments go on.
Well, you're very likable to me.
Thank you. I think this likability thing, can safely say that it's been around since I was a kid. I'm always been worried about what people are thinking about me, if I'm coming across the right way, am I alone on this? Like, do you feel this way, or am I like the lone duck in 7 billion people?
No, I feel like it's a universal human experience to go out or to go have dinner with a group of people, to come back and be like, why did I say that? And like, why did I use that? Why did I tell that story about the 7th grade? Or like, I feel so stupid that happened. Like, I think everybody has that.
For sure.
I hope,
think it's,
unless it's just us.
Yeah, I think it's, I have heard other people say that it's like this ingrained social thing where it's like we, throughout humanity, that's the word. People have needed to fit in to survive in the tribe.
Yes.
And now we kind of have our own places and everything. So the tribe fitting in is still very much part of our survival, but it's not quite the way it used to be. But it's still like, it resonates very, very highly in our needs, for sure.
Yeah. And, my dad taught me from a really young age that people like to talk about themselves. And so if you are in a situation or a new social situation and you want to get to know people and you want to make more friends, the best thing that you can do is to show a genuine interest and curiosity in the other person. Where are you from? Do you have any kids? What kind of work do you do? How do you like living there? Oh, what kind of food do they have there? I mean, my dad can talk to anybody. He is the kind of person that would literally talk to an Uber driver for like a whole hour ride to the airport and know everything about them because he asks genuine questions. And because of that, a lot of people like him.
That's a really good tip. And it's true, right? Like that genuine interest will make people like you because, and it's kind of sad to say, but it's like people are more interested in you liking them than they are about them liking you. So when you talk to somebody in terms of things that they like and you ask them questions and you actually take an active interest in them, it is going to feel very good because I think right now, especially, we live in a society where we don't feel heard. And it's a time where most of us are waiting for our turn to talk and we're not really listening. And it adds to this just kind of sadness and maybe frustration in different points too, where it's like nobody seems to care. So by caring, your likability just skyrockets. And it actually requires less of you. You just have to listen and ask questions that you're curious about.
Yeah. And, someone might be listening to this and say, well, isn't that kind of fake? And like, how can you make friends if you don't tell them anything about you? And so what I teach the kids is it's actually the perfect way to learn who your people are, because the minute someone else asks about you in your life, in your kids, in your job, then they're a good one because they actually took a breath from talking about themselves to ask about your life. So I've told the kids that you don't need to go hard and tell everybody about what trips you've been on and what you did and what you have, what you got for Christmas and whatever. Ask them, where did you go on spring break? What kind of things are you putting on your Christmas list? And if somebody asks you in return, well, then they're a very genuine, interested friend. And then if they're sort of self-serving and only talking about themselves, probably not someone you want to hang out with. So it's a really good gauge of character as well if you approach new people in conversations with this method.
And I think you can see that if you ever walk through like a lunch hall, you'll hear kids talking about, everybody's just kind of stating what they have. Oh, we have this. Oh, I have that. I got to do, I get to, like all these things. But the friendships that last, the way that people, because I mean, like we want people to like us, but we also want to have, for the sake of friendship, I think is like kind of the second step. Yeah. But that interest that you show in somebody, it's great. And if they don't show it back, they have saved you a ton of time. They have saved you a lifetime possibly of this. And I think you and I have both we've been to conferences where you and I have stood there talking with a person and we're asking question after question and they just go on and then they don't ask anything. And we just kind of look at each other afterwards and go,
And we're like, yeah,
yeah, that was the
yep,
end of that, I guess,
yep,
and that's
probably not going to be
okay.
inviting them to dinner. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to be interested because that's how people become interested in you. And
Exactly.
it won't always work, just like everything. Nothing's foolproof with this. But that is the first thing, is to just show a genuine interest in people. And you will see that everybody likes talking about themselves. Everybody wants somebody to be interested in them. So when you can give them that next step of people showing interest in you is how you kind of develop a tighter relationship with someone.
Exactly. And another tip I believe really, really helps is if you can remember something about someone. And one trick that I do is I will actually make notes in my phone. So when I first meet someone, let's say I just met a mom at my kid's ballet class and I'm chatting with her. If I don't write anything down, I'm going to forget her name. I'm going to forget stuff. I'll write things like dance mom, name Amanda, little boy's name X, was a diver in high school or something like that. And I will try to write down as many things as I can remember. And then when you go back to dance, whatever, the next week, you're like, hey, Amanda, how's your week going? 9 times out of 10, they're going to be like, oh my God, oh, you have such a good memory. What was your name again?
Yeah.
And well, it's a really good business technique too for networking. Andrew will tell you when we go to conferences and we meet with people, I'll ask how their babies are, how they like their trip that they just went on that they posted all over social media. And I try to remember things about people because it makes people feel good. And when people feel good, they attach that feeling to you and it makes it more likely that they're going to think about you for business opportunities, referrals, and things like that, which are really important when you're trying to make a living.
That's a really good strategy. I have always kind of found that if I can remember something about somebody and you bring it up or they start to tell you something and you say like, oh, I remember you saying, this about like your kid, your son's game, whatever. They're just astounded because it's such a different level that is really not that hard to do. And if you
Nope.
don't, like you use your phone because I know you got a lot on your brain and it's a really good way of doing it. And it doesn't have to be this in-depth thing. It's remembering that they like camping instead of, going
Yeah.
on big trips. It doesn't have to be anything really in-depth, but that act of caring to take the time to notice this for someone is going to make them like you
Yeah.
more because you're paying attention when nobody else does.
The world is so self-absorbed. It seems like the bare minimum, but it actually shocks people if you remember that, they're going to go on a beach trip right after this conference and you send a follow-up email and say, hey, I waited a week or two because I know you had the beach trip. How was it? Did you guys get any good seafood? And people are just amazed. And again, we're not trying to get one up on other people. We're not like cutthroat competitive business people. We're in the business of relationships and helping people. And because we coach people one-on-one, if people believe that we're thoughtful, helpful people, they will consider us when they have a friend who is having a hard time or somebody else who is going in a new direction in their life, and they'll remember us and refer us. And this has worked for us so many times, and it goes well with our personalities because I do think, I'd like to think that we're nice, caring people, but putting in that little extra effort and remembering things about people has been really good.
Yeah, and I agree. I think for some people listening to this, they might go like, is this manipulation? It's like, no, we genuinely care about these people that we remember these things
Yeah.
about because we're interested in people. I love and interacting with people, learning about people and helping them. And to do those things, you need to know about them and have a
Hmm.
genuine interest. It doesn't work to hear somebody talk for 20 minutes and then go, oh yeah, you need to do this technique that I was just waiting to share with you after the first 10
Yeah.
sec after you said your name, because that is completely inauthentic and it reeks. And I think
Yeah.
that's the part that most of us forget is that if you're trying, quote unquote, to make somebody like you and you're not being your authentic self, they know.
Yeah.
And it might work. Hey, you know what? If it's somebody superficial, it might work on them for a very long time. It might work forever. But to make that deep connection, most people you have to be authentic.
Yeah.
And it takes the pressure off you too to be like, oh, did I say I like this sport when I really can't remember
Oh
anything
no,
about
don't
it?
lie. Don't
Yeah,
lie. You'll be
like,
stuck at some game or something. Don't do
yeah,
that.
exactly. It's like, no, I've always liked this kind of music that I can't remember what it's called. Yes, no, it's
We
fine.
love ping pong. Sure.
I do love ping pong. Anyway, that's what we're talking about here is being authentic in this approach. So there's no manipulation involved or anything like that. It's just being a good human being. And that
Yeah.
is surprisingly easy to do. And in this culture where it's really more self-focused, being selfless in those moments of conversation really goes a long way.
Yeah. And another tip, and this is a really hard one for me because I tend to be very introverted, and that is to be the initiator. Andrew, you're really good at this, so I'll let you explain it.
So again, it's just being interested in someone. So when you're going to initiate conversation with someone or just initiate anything, if it's somebody new, whether it's like I'm going out for dinner right away with my daughter and her boyfriend, I will sit down and these three things will help. First of all, smile. It literally makes you feel better. So that's more for you, but it does help everybody else around. Listen, look at the person, make eye contact, and then ask them their name and listen for it, and then use it a few times to remember it. Because as you do those three things, first of all, you're softening everything. You're having this nice kind of engaging process with them. They look at you and like, oh, you're friendly. You're
Yeah.
smiling. That's like this thing that kind of instantly relaxes people. Subset of this that I don't always do is to let them see your hands. Apparently that is something that I'm not sure where that comes from. But if people can see like your hands on the table, they know that that you're
Yeah.
not hiding something, which is like this
Mm,
subconscious thing that I've only recently learned about.
interesting.
Looking into the person's eyes shows that you are actually paying attention to them and asking a question and learning their name and then repeating that name back to them. So you remember it. And so, I mean, a person's name is their most favorite word in the whole world. You and I use each other's names like constantly and throughout the day because we know it feels better to hear our name. And
Hmm.
it's such a funny thing. So those three things are really good. But when you are initiating something, get out of your head on it. You are going to overthink this. How's your day going so far? Really good. And this is a nice, easy ask. You're going to learn very quickly if this person even wants to have a conversation with you or if they don't. If they're like terrible and they don't ask you back, well, again, they haven't they haven't shared the interest in you, and I'll probably ask for a different waiter. But in another situation, they'll go, "Oh, it's going pretty good. How about you?" And it's like, "Oh, it's been a good day so far. I'm really looking forward to blah 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 blah." And they might go, "Oh yeah." It's like, what are you doing later on tonight, or what's your plans for the weekend? I mean, I've always been in a situation where I have to make small talk for long, like. There's been times where I meet strangers in the morning. I have to make small talk with them for 5 to 6 hours. And yeah, but you know what? As you do that, at first it's awkward, but you can really get to know a person intimately in that time because you listen. And I can safely say through most of those conversations, I talk maybe 20% of the time. And that's the next tip for making people like you is to listen more than you talk.
Yeah. Definitely listening more than you talk. I like how you were quiet as soon as you said that.
I shut up right away.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, again, people like talking. They like sharing their own stories and things like that. Listen more than you talk, but also ask people about themselves too. And if they want to ask about you, that's good. And, I would say another thing to me, and I know everybody's different, but I really pay attention to how people treat others. And if you are, let's say you're dating, or you're on the apps and you can't find your person and you're wondering, like, let's say you're a man, you're like, I take all these girls on dates and I can't figure out, I know I went to second date. How are you treating other people? Are you being rude to a waitress? Are you being, unkind to somebody at work? Do they hear you, yelling at someone on a work call? I really pay attention to how someone treats the people around them, because if you're nice to one person or somebody who is similar to you and rude to somebody else, that makes you very unlikable. And again, I learned that from my dad because my dad is nice to everyone, whether they're the janitor at work or whether they're the CEO. He treats everyone the same. He makes jokes with everybody. He doesn't treat people as though they're beneath him because they have like a different title at work or whatever. If you treat people as people and you're kind to everyone, you're going to be likable. The second you're rude to somebody or you mistreat somebody, those around you are going to be judging you, and they're not going to want to go on a second date, and tell you that.
No, that's a very, very easy tell with people is how they talk to like a server or somebody in any kind of service industry. If they're talking down to them or not acknowledging them or just dismissive, they could be like that with a lot of other people. I mean, there's the odd occasion where people have social anxiety, but we're talking about like kind of being rude. And
Rude, yeah. Don't be rude. Seems
don't be rude.
self-explanatory, but
It
some people
really
don't
does.
realize they're being rude.
Well, and I think, it's kind of like gossiping too, right? If your method of conversation, which I know a lot of people do, is to gossip about the people that aren't there, all you are doing when you do that is telling that person, whatever you tell me, I'm going to share with everybody else, and I'm going to gossip about you the second you leave this room. That's not a positive experience. People, again, how you treat one person is how you treat everyone. And we all know this at some like really foundational level. So when we're having that kind of experience, we can go, oh, yeah, I don't know if I want to tell you anything, or I wonder what you're going to say about me the second I go.
Right.
So I think that's a great, great tip, Kat. Good one.
Thanks. Yeah. I think the gossip thing is a good thing to bring up. We tell the kids that all the time, too. It's like if someone is talking to you about someone else, I promise you they're going to be talking about you next. And it's a really good way to judge people's character and decide how much time you want to spend with them and how much you want to invest in the friendship.
Yeah, exactly. Another real big one, and we've kind of been hinting around this, is you need to talk in the terms of other people's interests. And again, getting them to talk is one thing. I struggled with this one, not because I wasn't interested in them, but I was afraid of looking foolish on something. If I don't know anything about football, I've watched it a little bit, but my son is like really, really into the Vikings ever since we went to Minneapolis last year and he got to go on the field and watch a game. And I will just get curious about it. So it doesn't make sense for me to talk about podcasting and the best mic and all these other cool things that I'm doing online because, like, nobody is interested in that except for me and Catherine, of course. At least that's maybe she's just talking in terms of my interest when she does that. But so I'll ask my son, like, how's your team doing? Oh, it's this and that. Oh, why is it like that? But actually be interested and then not turn around 2 minutes later and go, so how's your team doing? Like it's talking in terms of their interest, but actually listening to the answers and taking an interest because maybe you might actually find out something that is useful, or you might find out that, wow, I really do like this and I'm going to start paying more attention to this topic of whatever it is.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's especially good when trying to connect with kids or if you have nieces and nephews to ask about things because sometimes it's hard to talk to kids. You get the one-word answers and everything like that. So I think that's a really, really good tip. And yes, I am interested in our podcast mics. I assume we're just gonna have the same one for forever.
We are. They're there now.
I like all your technology, mostly because you pick it out, buy it, and it makes my life easier, and I'm grateful for it.
There you go. I think when we're talking about all this stuff about making people like you, you probably started listening to this thinking this is going to be a whole bunch of ways to influence somebody's thoughts around you. And really, it's not. This is all just about connecting with another person. And part of us, when you connect with a person, you put yourself out there and they might not like you. That is just part of it. Not there's 7 billion people on the planet, 8 billion, whatever it is now. Not everyone's going to like you. That's just the facts. But when you can connect with someone and make them feel good, they will always remember that you made them feel good. They'll always remember how they make you feel. And you can go back to, good and bad experiences in your life. The strangers that you met on a bus that day that actually made you feel good. And you probably remember the certain person who didn't make you feel good.
Yep.
So that's what we're really talking about is connection.
It's beautifully put. It's not a new quote, but people aren't going to remember what you said. They're going to remember how you made them feel. And so if you can make a positive impact on someone, make them feel heard, make eye contact, ask about them, and you might be the only person that has shown care towards them in a very long time. People really do remember that. I can think back to people who have actually taken an interest in me, and it really makes you stand out. It's sad to say, but it is a way to make people remember you and like you simply because most people don't do it. So if you are struggling with this or wondering whether or not people like you, try a few of the tips that we shared in this episode and let us know how it goes. You can email us anytime at hello@5yearyou.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great place to kind of wrap up. What is your glimmer for this week?
Well, right now I'm pretty fond of the Domino's gluten-free pizza. What I'm gonna order as soon as we stop recording. But we used to put chicken on it, and now I've been doing pepperoni and pineapple.
It's so
I
good.
treat myself to like double pepperoni and double pineapple. It's a rich life over here, folks, let me tell you.
I love that. I love that. We were literally talking about this before we went on air. I'm like, do you want to order it before we start recording? Yeah, so good. So good. I
What
love
about you?
that. My glimmer is that I'm going to get to go for dinner with my daughter and her boyfriend for the first time after
So
this call,
cute.
after this podcast recording. And I'm really excited for it. I had a nice lunch with my daughter last week, and I'm really looking forward. Again, a lot of the stuff that we're talking about today, I'll be doing and paying attention to as well, because, I'm a protective father.
Yeah.
And I want to learn about this person, and I plan on listening more than I talk and to see what happens.
And he'll probably have some dad jokes because he just can't help himself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got to
That's
have
just a
dad
given.
jokes. Yeah. I have a quota I need to meet every day. So
Well, I hope you guys have a nice time. I'm really glad you get to do that. I can't wait to hear about it.
I hope you enjoy your pizza. Thank you so much for listening this week, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Hey guys, quick disclaimer. We're podcasters on the internet. If you need to seek professional help, please go see your healthcare professional.